Yeah, it's going to be on our air. A lot of these teams are going to be playing. 6 wins clinches you the playoffs, so you will get a spot in that bracket. 5 wins makes you eligible. Doesn't mean you will get a spot, but there's a good chance depending on how the committee ranks these teams.
Yeah, what we were saying earlier is that we can have all those games, all those teams, 256 teams in total make it into the playoffs as of right now, and they're broken up by the 1A to the 9A classes. And if you didn't hear us during the playoff pairing show part of this, you saw it on the screen, obviously, but we will have the playoff pairing show at 8 p.m. tomorrow on Antenna TV, 23.2 WIFR. And one other thing I mentioned that on WIFR.com, under our sports section, we will also have the information for that there. So if you want to find the show, can't remember it tomorrow night, but you want to watch it, we'll have an article up there for you guys, and it's already up as of right now. So make sure to head on over there if you want to watch the playoff selection show, see where your team is and all of this. Yeah. It will be an interesting time for sure. We talk a lot about the playoffs, Anthony, but we got to get into our standings. We got to show.
We do. There were some shakeups.
Exactly. Just a few shakeups, and we saw that Stillman game earlier against Winnebago. Winnebago pulls off the upset and keeps Stillman Valley away from the playoffs. Unbelievable stuff.
Yeah, they were trying to be eligible, getting that 5th win, and that was going to be their 7th straight appearance for the Cardinals. So tough way to end the season for them.
And at the very bottom, Lutheran taking down Rock Falls tonight.
Yes.
So Lutheran gets their first win of the season. Congrats to head coach Don Lee and the Crusaders. Amazing stuff there. Let's go over to another conference. And in the Nick 10, we saw Belvedere North, our game of the week. We showed you at the top of the show. They get to 9-0, their first undefeated season, and they just ran through this conference all year, Anthony. Yeah. Guilford Harlem, worthy challengers, and then you see Jefferson there at 5-4. And I know Hononegah was 5-3 coming into this, Anthony. They lost to Belvedere tonight. I cannot believe that scoreline. I think it was 8-6 when I saw it pop up.
Yeah, 8-6.
Ridiculous upset.
Yeah, a couple upsets in the Nick 10, then East defeating Freeport as well, 28-20.
Right. East gets on the board, their first win of the season as well. Congrats to the E-Rabs on that one. I know there's one more conference we got to get to. NUIC standings, and Stockton, because they beat Lena Winslow and Dupec last week, they already had the conference locked up coming into the day, but they beat Forston tonight. They lock up their undefeated season. Unbelievable stuff. Lena Winslow gets the win over Dupec, so they take second in the conference. Anything you're looking at here?
Yeah, we got Galena. They were trying to get that 5th win, and they do. They are trying to go back-to-back for the first time since 2014 and 2015, so the Pirates trying to hopefully steer that ship toward the playoffs if they can get a bracket spot tomorrow.
Right, and Galena also gets the win tonight. So they are now in a potential playoff picture, and Forston clinched it last week after beating Leroy, but they fall to Stockton tonight. Amazing stuff in all these conferences, and that's a table that we're going to be playing back in August, June, next year, trying to get ready for Football Frenzy. I can't believe we're already talking about what could happen next year, but that is a table that we will present many times. We appreciate everyone behind the scenes getting that table up and running and having the live standings up here. We really enjoy breaking them down. Anthony, your final thoughts on the regular season?
Yeah, I can't believe it's come to an end. It always just feels it goes by so fast, but the postseason, that's going to be fun. I guess, what are you most looking forward to about covering IHSA playoffs?
Well, the thing I'm actually most looking forward to is showing that we have our playoff pairing show coming up.
Yeah.
So let's bring you back that again. We just want to remind you, because we just had some technical difficulties. Audio wasn't quite working. Tomorrow at 8 p.m., Antenna TV, 23.2 WIFR. You want any of this information, an article on the website, we'll have it. Now back to your question when it comes to covering the playoffs. I think it's just being in those cold environments. Yep. I was talking a little bit with Guilford's head coach, Tony Capriotti, a few weeks back, and they have their amazing running back, Chris Porter. And so I asked him, having a running back like Chris, how does it help you in the playoffs? And they're like, they don't want to tackle this guy. And when he's scoring 20 touchdowns in a 9-game regular season, I think Guilford is going to be an excellent team in the playoffs. The top-line players they have, they're going to go into several rounds of these playoffs, assuming they can get that far.
Yeah.
And they're going to be able to say that they have the best player. Not everyone has an SEC commit on their team.
Yeah.
in the Rockford area, in all of Illinois, and they've got one of the best players in the state. I think just because they have him, Messiah Tilson, Keeson Taylor is also another Power 4 recruit. He's probably going to commit to a Power 4 school. And then they got Chris Porter in the backfield, and Grayson Weber knows how to deal it out. I think these Nick 10 teams are really the ones to keep your eye on. Harlem, Belvedere North, Guilford, I think they could go really far. Any other teams, Byron, you think could go far, obviously?
Yeah, I think Byron, they have always been a contender for the state title, and
Right.
I mentioned it in Football Frenzy as well. Lena Winslow, they are hungry to not only get to the state championship, but to try and win one, because the past 2 years they have gotten second place, which is unusual for them because they've just gone on to win several state championships, and that's just kudos to Rick Aaron. And I was taking a look here at my notes. Yeah, this is their 26th straight playoff appearance dating back to 1999, and they've won state 2010, 13, 17, 19, 21, and 22. They are looking to hoist that first place trophy again.
Right, and I know Rick Aaron, heading into the season, was pretty close on the NUIC wins record all time. I think it was 19 wins that he needed to tie his former successor, actually, to catch that record. Now, obviously, he can't get it in this season, but that's something he'll get a little bit closer to next year. As long as he's there, they're never going to miss the playoffs, obviously.
Yeah.
But they've been a team on a mission since losing to Stockton, and I still think they'll have something to say when it comes to the state title. Just because they didn't win the NUIC, that doesn't mean they can't just smash through 1A and just go to the title. I think Stockton's going to be very dangerous as well. Dupec, obviously, and then Dixon as well. I mean, they lose on the road to Byron, but they won all their other games, and they did it by a pretty good score line. I think Dixon is going to be very dangerous.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it, too, is going to be the momentum heading in, especially getting those wins in Week 9 just to propel you, and even those win streaks just to keep that going. But I think hopefully just barring any upsets, I think, the Nick 10, some of those teams are going to be trying to watch out for. B North and Guilford making those far runs. Yeah, Stockton being undefeated. I think they were ranked in the top in every AP poll. So yeah, they could be a dangerous team that could be playing that Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Right. All right. We could talk till we're blue in the face, Anthony.
We could.
But we just got to let the bracket come out. You can't. You can do as much bracketology as you want, but the selection show tomorrow at 8 p.m. on our WIFR airways. We cannot wait to see you there. But as for Football Frenzy Plus, in the regular season, we are done. We will be on for the first round of the playoffs, and then it kind of just depends how many teams make it through for us to do a Football Frenzy. But we'll have all that information to you when it is available. Anthony, Ryan, saying so long. Thank you so much for tuning in on our WIFR app, on Facebook, wherever you're watching, and we hope you all have a good weekend.